I got a little bit into some other games, which we'll talk about off the podcast because it's not about. Anyway, Spellbreak is awesome. Check out. Welcome to Casuals of Runeterra, episode 21. I'm your host, Ryan, here with your other host, Hetch.
What's up? What's up?
We're back again. We're finishing up Targon, aren't we? Isn't this the end? This is the last one, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone.
So what better way to finish
other regions
than with the space dragon himself?
we had to go to the skies to finish this one.
But before we get there, obviously we have housekeeping. Listen to us anywhere, as always. Follow us on Twitter to keep up to date with episodes. It's the best way, and that's at Podcast Core. That's Podcast COR. And then you can send an email if you want to contact us at the same name at gmail.com. And then leave a like, follow, short review, comment, or whatever, so we know you exist.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, we're just going to think you're a bot.
No, and see, like you're giving these people like way too much onus. All right, like this is not a democracy. You are going to go there. You're going to leave us a 5-star review, and the only comment on it is going to be a star emoji. So we're the only 6-star rated podcast.
Put your foot down. That's what I'm talking about. So tell a friend to behold the celestial knowledge by listening to the Casuals of Runeterra podcast.
You even started like writing these down, and like for whatever reason my brain is just like, we don't need to read that. I'm so mad at you.
State of the game. It's state of the game.
State of the game.
Yeah, so I'm playing. I didn't play this much this week, which was surprising. I got a little bit into some other games, which we'll talk about off the podcast because it's not about. Anyway, Spellbreak is awesome. Check out. Any listeners, if you haven't played it, Spellbreak is a dope game. My first battle royale. I never really got into that whole genre, but it's good fun if you like spell slinging, which we do. I mean, it's the Casuals of Runeterra podcast.
Yeah. We may be casuals in the card game, but we take our spell slinging serious.
Exactly. So I end up playing my bread and butter deck that I've had, which I denote with a star next to its name in my portfolio, and it's the Misfortune Quinn Bannerman Scout deck.
I'm so proud.
It's tried and true. It works even post. I want to say rotation, but post set, the Targon set, it's still a good deck. It's solid all around. And I'm just playing that to get stuff done. And I'm still playing some more Expedition, which is good as well.
Yeah, I'm still so proud of you just for converting to the Scouts, baby.
I know, right? It's so strong. What are you playing?
I too have been a little lazy with it this week, but
because of a different game.
don't judge me, all right? Calm down, you. But I did go to something a little more tried and trusted, but also took a fun twist on it, which is Leona and Garen Elites. So it takes away like the consistency of your Bannerman decks, mm-hmm. but replaces it with the ease of execution of Daybreak. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm playing something new and fun, and it still is just, all right, play a card on curve and hit them in the face. So,
which is a strong strategy I've heard in any game.
What? No way. It's no way that can be good.
There's no way it can be that good. And so that takes us to our main topic. Sassy Space Soul.
This will be entertaining.
I know, right? He's so sassy. He's like, the Diva Dragon was going to be the other title, but we couldn't decide. But we're going to start with our spell as always, and we're going to do the Sky's Descend, which is I think a shining beacon because it is the highest costed spell in the game now.
Yes,
15. So it's a 15 cost slow spell, but that's not it. It has deal 15 to all enemies. It costs 2 less for each dragon or celestial ally you have. So it actually references 2 of the new classes, or you want to call them tribes, as we call them in other decks, to this, which are celestials and dragons. And this is a cool card, right? Because it's not ridiculous in the sense that if you're playing a control deck, which this is meant for, you have time to play those dragons, you have time to play those celestials, so that if you need to do a board wipe at some point to then follow up with something big, this is your go-to because nothing's going to survive this unless there's some shenanigans that are afoot.
Cough, cough. The catastrophe.
The catastrophe. True words have never been spoken. But we have some cards here that just have spicy quotes because we're dealing with the sassy dragon himself. So the quote on this one's good. It's, "When the time comes, I think I'll make an example of Runeterra. Perhaps I'll drag its smoldering husk around with me for all eternity like a toy, a dead, worthless toy. I don't know. I've not really thought about it much." It has like a tsundere quality to it too.
A Sol himself. He's just so mad.
I know, right? And he has all right to be, which Hetch will get to in a bit. But this is going to take us to our follower to follow it up, which is the Infinite Mind Splitter. Now, when I saw this card, I was like, this is my card of the set, by the way. Like when this set came out, this made me excited because it has hella Lovecraft vibes, right? Hella, like from the art to the quote to what it does. It's really cool. And the art is amazing as always. So we don't have to touch on that. It's an 8-costed dragon. So, from the tribe dragon, that has 8 cost, 8/8. It's already good, right? The cost lines up and the name is amazing. And it has Fury. So Fury is when I kill a unit, grant me +1/+1, which is pretty cool because of how +1/+1 works in this game and how it functions as a heal in a lot of cases. We've talked about that in past episodes. And then the additional effects on here is on play, you get to pick 2 enemies. And then when the round starts, stun those enemies. Now, this card is cool because it allows you to drag out, which Control wants to do, drag out games, especially if your opponent's about to win or if they're in a position where they're pressing you very hard and you're able to get this down. They have to deal with this. And there's not many ways to deal with this in both aggro and mid-range shells. So this is a real good card, especially as a one-of in anything. And then in Expedition, it's a bomb. I mean, you have to pick it up if you can get it.
And not to mention, too, that it's like how flexible that the card is, because if you think about like Minotaur Reckoner with Yasuo decks, that's a staple because at the round start it stuns.
Yeah.
And this one is going to be stunning twice, but this also has that inevitability feeling of being a threat on its own because it has Fury. With Minotaur Reckoner, you are staring at his HP and you're really worried about it. And it's like, if they have like 2 chump blocks, like that second chump block might be a problem. But with this card, because of the Fury, it's like, keep chump blocking it. I dare you. I dare you. Put something in front of this. So I do love this card. And anyone who is not excited when they see Lovecraft stuff just doesn't have fun with lore. Like that's just a fact. Like you don't like a story.
And it has that abyss, I stared into the abyss stared back kind of vibe, where the quote is, "Travelers who lock eyes with the creature are said to be struck by a knowledge so profound and insight so awesome that their minds crumble beneath its gaze."
Cthulhu for Targon. What a wonderful phrase.
It is 2020, vote Cthulhu. So take us into the champion for this episode.
All right, so now we've already have pointed out how sassy Aurelion Sol is. All right, and so I'm gonna go a little off book here. All right,
oh no,
because depending on how deep you can go and find a lot of this lore information, Riot, one of the things that they like to do is put nicknames for every character, and it's nicknames that other champions will call these champions by. So a champion called Zoe refers to Aurelion Sol as Space Doggy. And for the rest of this cast, A Sol is going to be the Space Doggy. All right, so as far as with Aurelion Sol, he is going to be pretty sure our first celestial that we talk about, which is very poignant for the fact that in the card game he gives you so many celestial cards. All right, so the celestials are beings that were there since the creation of time. And as far as with Aurelion Sol, he was there before any living creature was found on Runeterra.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into it just a little bit, but Aurelion Sol is one of the OGs. He is just there. And with him being present within the celestial body since the beginning of time, the thing that he enjoyed to do the most was to view this vast space as a canvas. Mm-hmm. So the other name I will refer to him as is the Bob Ross of Runeterra. Right? he's going through this vast space, and he's creating all these celestial bodies, and they are happy little accidents. All right. Every constellation is a happy little accident.
That's good.
And a challenge to anyone listening out there who's got something of an artistic flair, which I don't have, please let me live vicariously through you and draw me a Sol Ross. I want to see a Sol Ross. I want to see Aurelion Sol with the fro. All right,
so with EDM DJ.
EDM DJ. A Sol Ross. Oh Lord! All right, but so Aurelion Sol, he's creating these celestial bodies, but he's also nurturing them. Mm-hmm. Like this, he is treating this space as his world. This is his garden, essentially. And the only other beings that he's passing are the aspects. So the aspects are also celestial bodies, celestial beings. And for the most part, Aurelion Sol is viewing them as insignificant. They are boring to him. The aspects have no interest in anything, so he has no interest in them.
You bore me.
You bore me. Oh, you are not entertaining. And his creation of the Celestials continues until he notices that a star that he created closer to the beginning, there's a new body there, and that new body turns out to be the planet of Runeterra. Mm-hmm. And he did not create Runeterra. So he goes over there because he's trying to figure out, hey, where did this come from? And it turns out that some of the aspects, a couple of the aspects created Runeterra, and they created life on Runeterra. And they were like, hey, come check it out. Look what we did. Yeah. And of course, Aurelion Sol, he goes over there because for him, we don't know how much time it is, but we get this feeling that like every second to him is eons for Runeterra. Yeah. And this is the first time since his creation that the aspects have done anything interesting. So he's like, okay, yeah, cool. Like, sure, let me go check this out. I didn't know you guys partied. Like,
I didn't know you worked here.
Oh, you worked here? Like, no, I've been here plenty of times. I never saw you here. So when he goes to check out Runeterra, as far as this body, he notices the life on Runeterra, specifically in the Targon region. Mm-hmm. And the people of Targon, they've noticed Aurelion Sol because what they see are these comets. Yeah. And these comets are Aurelion Sol just kind of dashing through the Celestials, creating new happy accidents. Yeah. And they started to fear and worship all of these moving bodies, which turns out to be Aurelion Sol. So when he goes and realizes that they've been worshiping him, he decides to create a form that they can see, which is the form of a dragon. And they put a name to him, so they're the first to name him Aurelion Sol, and they want to give him an offering, which is the crown that Aurelion Sol that we see. So they offer him this crown, and he's like, oh, finally a VIP card. I've been here so many times. So he takes this crown, puts it on, and realizes it's a trap.
Kaiba boy.
All right. Anyone listening to this who has never been into a department store, all right, do not take If it's a rewards card where they just punch it, that's great. If you have to sign anything that's similar to a credit card, that's a trap. You don't do those, all right? And these guys, they went, hey, you've been here a lot. Let's open up a line of credit for you.
His shock, I feel, immediately relates to when Yugi saw Relinquish for the first time and had 0 attack, 0 defense, and then it went to commercials. Relinquish.
So you have the relinquish, and then it's just the aspect of Soul, and the aspect of Lunara, like they just jump in front of him, and we'll be right back.
But as you were, I'm sorry to deter.
Next time on Casuals of Runeterra. So Aurelion Sol is now trapped by this crown, and he goes into a full rage because he's trying to break out of the magic because he feels that this crown is sapping away his knowledge.
IP. It's stealing his IP.
It's stealing his IP. But so he is now in a rage because these freaking insects, these useless aspects and their creations are trying to take his knowledge of celestial bodies, and they are using this knowledge to try to create these godlike warriors for some conflict that he doesn't know or care about, because of course he doesn't know or care about it. He's too busy on the other side of the celestial body.
Yeah.
And what really is making him angry is that he could see the stars need maintenance, and he can't go and maintain them because this crown has him trapped around Runeterra. So he sits there, and while in this fit of rage, what ends up being for just a moment of time, they raise up the celestial dish, or the solar dish, to try to draw the power of the celestial bodies to create godlike beings. It fails. They do it again. It works this time. They create godlike warriors. The godlike warriors strike down their enemies. Warriors of darkness rise. The warriors of darkness strike down the godlike warriors, and then all of this conflict is finally trying to wrap up. But now Runeterra is in this endless war, and through that little bit of time, the gold crown starts to crack and waver. And
cough,
then
cough, Rune War, cough, cough.
Cough, cough, Rune War, cough, cough. And all of this is just a blink of an eye to Asol, because again, he's been there since the beginning of time. What the Runeterrans perceive as time is nothing to him. But now that the gold crown is starting to flake, it's starting to crack, he goes, oh, that's it. That's it. I have some words for you. I want to speak to the manager. And we are left off with this dragon circling Runeterra and just ready to strike.
Yeah.
And that's what we know about Aurelion Sol. What happens next? We don't know.
We'll get to the card, but it kind of, you start to see these other beings that we talked about popping up, which is essentially him unleashing hell upon Targon itself.
And let's think about a timeless being patiently waiting to destroy an entire planet. How do you translate that into a card? Well, we're lucky because Riot did that for us. All right, so
there's no art; it's just text.
It's just text. There's no space. It's just the crown and text. So Aurelion Sol is a 10 mana, 10/10 with Fury and Spell Shield, and he also has invoke a celestial card that costs 7 or more.
Yeah.
And then round start, create a random celestial card in hand. Like that already feels like he's flipped. And he hasn't even flipped yet. This is just his base card. But I mean, like a benefit of it is he's 10 mana. Like obviously you have to be patient to be playing this. But for his level up is at the round end, your allies have 20 plus total power. I know a lot of people, when we were getting the cards teased, a lot of people get confused that you have to have 20 power in Aurelion Sol, but that Aurelion Sol counts towards it.
Yeah.
So already that's just 10 power that you have to find.
Yep.
But he has fury, so if you're swinging with him, he's reducing the cost too.
It's so good.
So, but when he flips, he becomes an 11/11. All right, still fury, spell shield. All right, and then on the play, he creates a celestial card. At round start, he creates a celestial card. New effect: your celestial cards cost 0.
The game is over.
The game is over. If Aurelion Sol gets that stupid crown off of his head, he's going to talk to the manager, and no low-level employee is making it through the rest of the shift. All right, that's just facts.
Yeah, it's a good card. It's a good quote. Do you want to go through the quote real quick to finish this up? Both sides.
Hang on. Okay, wait, both sides. Let me go to the front then. I don't care what you write about me, you middling creature. Just make sure I'm described as handsome and magnificent, and also very, very intelligent. Can you spell that? Is that a Trump quote? If Trump could articulate, or should I not take a side on that on the podcast? I apologize. And then Aurelion Sol flipped. Aurelion Sol is handsome and magnificent, and also very, very intelligent.
I love how they wrote it verbatim. It's like that is the commandment. There's no improv. It's as spoken. So this is great because this takes us into our challenge of the day, right? For Hetch here.
Oh,
which
crap.
is I want you to name a dragon. So if you listeners, and while he's thinking about it, there are tons of cool names in here for dragons. You have like the White Flame Protector, you have Invalus, Vox, and then you have the Infinite Mind Splitter. Like those are some cool ass dragon names. So I said, let's name our own. You don't have to figure out like what his stats are or whatever. But as always, I'm gonna go first. So mine is Soot, Harbinger of Sorrows.
Oh, how do I follow that?
And obviously, it's like a black dragon, whatever. How do you follow that? And no copyright stuff either. Don't get us sued.
Yeah. So, I'll go with. Oh, this one's tough.
Heart.
This one's tough. All right.
Oh, what?
So I'll go with Carbon.
Okay.
The Rage of Runeterra.
Okay, alliteration. You can't go wrong with alliteration.
You can't. But this is a rookie move. Like this one stumped me. You got me.
I didn't listen. You've been crushing it for 20 plus episodes, so I figured, this is another easy one.
I'm just a man, Ryan.
Man. Well, if you were a dragon, you could just use your own name.
Oh my god.
But that puts a nail in this coffin for this episode. So thanks for listening, and we'll be back soon with the next episode.
All right, in a follow-up, I'm gonna go with Beard, the Scourge of Cervantes. There we go. Second
and
try.
Scene.
Take care, everybody.